Hi everybody, Jo here. How are you doing? I hope you're having a good day and I hope you're feeling okay. Now today I'm a bit excited, so you know what I'm like. I might start talking a bit quickly. I've got to try and slow it down because don't tell anyone, but I'm sneaking in today's design one of the new stamps. Now, I've been very good. I'm using some of our favourites that we have already, but you may notice I'm sneaking in a new stamp. And look, how could I not? This is Thistlewhisk, which, trying to get my teeth around that, I'm going to have to think of a little nickname for him. But look at that face. I mean, absolutely gorgeous. But anyway, it's a bit of a sneak. So we'll look at everything else. So what I've done today, you know what I'm like, I do get in trouble. I'm using one of our lovely circular card blanks. And what I like about this is I like to challenge myself, which is quite fun after yesterday's video, to actually stamp directly on the card. And then when this stands up, I mean, look at that. Just beautiful. And as always, look, a bit of stamping on the envelope, permanent ink, but in the bottom left-hand corner. So when I put my postage stamp here and put the address, I mean, imagine getting that in the post. Oh, you wouldn't be able to wait to open that, would you? So that's the plan. But like I say, after yesterday, who knows? So here I have one of our lovely, so this is the white circular card and envelopes, and you get 4 in a pack, so that's fabulous. And I'm going to start off with my stamping. And remember, I know it's obvious, but sometimes we need to point the obvious out. You need the straight edge at the bottom to stand the card up, and then obviously you've got the hinge. And I'm only pointing it out because there'd be nothing worse than, especially me, if I stamped it the wrong way. Because it can happen, you know. And I'm going to start with our lovely fairy toadstool. Now today, I'm purely going to be stamping in black because again, I've had a few messages, but we've got some lovely new friends and followers to Lavinia, so hi to everybody. But when you're starting off, the black, the Versafine Clair Nocturne, for me, you can do a lot with just this one ink pad. And as you get on with your crafty journey, you will just add to it bit by bit. I mean, I often get asked how many stencil brushes I have. You know, when I started off, I think it was with 3. But each time I visited Lavinia or put an order in, I just added one at a time. And I just built up like that. So remember, when you're inking up, nice light taps. Don't press too hard. You're better having more light taps than a few really sort of heavy squashy ones. And if you want to make sure that the ink is covered the stamp, just look in the light and it'll sort of shine where the ink is. Now, I want to stamp this nearish the bottom because I want room for Thistlewhisk to be able to stand. So again, sometimes use the acetate. If you're not sure, use your acetate to plan your design. Now again, because we're going direct on the card, we don't want to have to restamp. I mean, to be fair, I don't want to have to restamp anyway, because it's just not the easiest of things. So I would just let that ink soak in. Give it time just to soak into the card. And especially if it's on a card blank and you've not used that card before. And then lift straight up. And there we go. Beautiful. So now for the main man. And I just know you are going to love this character. I can see storybooks. I can see, honestly, Christmas cards, dancing in the rain. I mean, mixing up with the cheeky mice we've already got. There are just so many things. So I'm just going to pop my head above just so I can put feet and tail on top. And if you stand above, you just get more chance of actually, if you're directly above. Now again, not a silhouette, there's a lot of detail here. So let that ink soak in. Try and get in good stamping practices when you start. But look at that, honestly. Look at that detail. Oh, just adorable. Now, there are so many things I could hang from here. I was thinking of the fairy charms. We've got the Christmas charms. So again, you could turn it into Christmas. But I've gone for the pixie lanterns just because I wanted something almost with a bit of character. So I'm going to stamp one stamp here. And then I find this almost sort of looks like it's made to go together. So where there's an inny bit there, look, I can put the outy bit. Does that make sense? So it makes a nice shape. So I think I just need one there. I'm going to be careful lifting my ink pad over my card. And I'm just going to add one single stamp there, just so I've got that nice shape. And then at the base here, I've got a little bit of sort of the grass that's on the stamp, but I need a little something more. So in the foliage set, we've got this lovely stamp, and it's just almost got these little flower heads on. And I think that is just enough to give a little bit of, and it balances. Do you see what I mean? It just looks nice. So I'm going to pop the lid on there, and I'm just going to give this a blot. Again, a slower drying ink, so always try and blot your work. It's a good habit to get into. And then I'm just going to add the moon mask. So as always, I'm going to turn my work upside down, and I'm thinking of just going sort of here. Now I'm going to come in with graphite, just to keep for these sorts of grey tones. Now you could add lots of colour to this, but I just want to keep it relatively simple. Plain colour, and let the beautiful stamps, let the details speak for themselves. So blending in the lid. Now I've come in with a number 7 brush, and that's because I'm not doing a large area. But also, got to be honest, I haven't got a number 9 brush that's got grey on it. I've only got a number 7 brush. So when we're asked about, do you need one for each colour, if you haven't got one in that size, look and see if you've got one in your other size. So I'm just going to bring in this grey. Now I'm going to move my moon mask and turn it round, just so that I can see, look, and give myself an idea. So I'm going to bring the colour just round here a bit more. And again, blending from the lid. And then just bring the colour, and I'm going to stop there. But what I am going to do here at the base, where we've got this foliage, just bring in. Now it's a very subtle grey, this. And I'm not very good at the camera work. You might not be able to pick it up, but honestly, it does make a difference in real life. I'll try and show you. I'm not sure if you can see, but it is there. And it just takes almost the whiteness of the card away. Now, it might be you're happy and you want to leave the design like that. I'm going to come in with a lovely verse called Magic Surrounds Us, just for a little bit of accent stamping. Now, that's an arrow. I draw an arrow on the back of my stamps just because I don't want to stamp them upside down, because I have been known to. Now, on my original, I did 1st generation, but this time I'm just going to try 2nd generation. And I often do this. If I do something in original, sometimes I change it up, and then I can compare the two. So I'm just going to add, and I think I do prefer the 2nd generation. Sometimes it depends what mood I'm in. I don't know about you. It's different depending how I feel. Just going to ink that up, stamp off. And then look at that. Right, ink on the lid on the ink. I nearly said ink on the lid. Well, I suppose if I turn it upside down, I could, couldn't I? Right, again, give that a blot. And I'm just going to come in and add a wee bit of colour. And I'm going to use my Mondeluz pencils. And I've got number 1, number 34, 35, and 36. I could leave it like this, but I just want to add a little bit of colour. So I'm just going to add just a little bit of black first on the lanterns. And again, I'm leaning on my kitchen roll just so I don't get marks. I want to try and minimise the chance of getting marks on this card. I want some nice clean space. I'm just going to come in with the grey, but leave almost an area of light in the middle. Now, as I say, it could be you want to do this and add lots of colour. I mean, I think it would look beautiful either way. I mean, there is going to be so many different things you can do with the new stamps. Honestly, Tracy has done the most amazing designs. Her attention to detail is absolutely fabulous. Right, I'm going to leave those there. Sorry, excuse me. And I'm just going to come in and add a little bit of colour to the umbrella. And again, you know me, I like to show you a design and sort of hint at lots of different ways that you could use it. Now, a little bit of grey on, look, just, again, you don't need a lot. I want to leave some white. Just want to check my pencil, nice and clean. Just, I love the white. It's important to keep those little white areas, look. Oh. Right, so on our toadstool, going to come in and just under here, look, where we've got that shadow. We'll add that shadow and then add some grey on here. And I'm leaving the top bit just because then it almost adds the highlight because it stays white. And I don't think I need any more than that. Now, again, it could be just with my little white, just check his nose and his eye. Maybe just a little bit on his tail. So it might be you want to leave yours like this. And as I say, it's nice to have alternatives. I'm going to bring in a little bit of my yellow Posca just to have some yellow highlights. But if I show you the difference between the two, and I won't be offended if you like it without at all. I mean, it might be you want to get to this stage and then say add some red, and so do it monochromatic with red. So many ways you could take this. I can't wait to see. Maybe you'll use different stamps there. But I'm going to come in with my yellow sparkly Posca, just because it's my favourite. And I'm just going to add some of the little highlights. And then here, but I just, if you're anything like me, I had to stop myself from using Thistlewhisk on every single design I did. I thought, Tracy's going to tell me off. I thought, no, walk away, use a different one. But it is funny. I'm sure when you start looking at the examples and the lovely samples from the rest of the creatives, you'll be straight away be going, oh, that's my favourite stamp. And then you'll be going, oh, actually, that's my favourite stamp. And doing that thing of, oh, I don't need any new stamps. Oh, actually, yes, I do. You know, we all do it. So some little sparkly bits now and again. I'm just going round the foliage at the bottom. Now, it could be you want to add some stickles, glitter. And I'm just going round the foliage. And just round the umbrella, we've got this. This is lovely golden rain. There we go. But honestly, you don't need more than that. Look at that. And it doesn't take long. If you want to batch card make some thank you cards, I'm thinking ready for after Christmas, or get ahead and do some general cards for next year, because this could be a birthday card, it could be a get well soon card. I'm just going to leave it up to you. And great for men's cards. So can't wait to see what you do, but don't tell anybody I've used it today, please. Remember our secret. What happens at Craft Club stays at Craft Club. You take care, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your week. Honestly, it's going to be amazing. So magical. Love and hugs from me. Bye for now.